What's good, everybody? Welcome into Early Edge Live. We are here almost every single weekday here in the summer, fall, 7 days a week. I, of course, am the coach. We are powered by the almighty SportsLine. And when you talk about Mondays, usually it's not a really busy, fun sports day. But today could not be farther from that. Before I get into results that have happened already and also what we're going to look forward to tonight, let's bring in the stars of the show very quickly. And look at this. Look who I'm rolling with today. First of all, Jay Smooth, you made it back from vacay. You look healthy. You look happy. How do you feel?
I'm feeling good, man, because I follow Martin Green's soccer picks. So, no, but it's Monday. I'm excited to get back for a good week. Had a nice little 2-in-1 day on the show on the road yesterday. Would have loved a little help from those Cincinnati Reds to get that nice little 3-0, but, we're never going to be mad. We're going to move on to the next one. I got a couple plays to reveal here now today on the show. Excited to do that. Excited to see what else we're going to get to as well.
All right, that's a lot right there, all with Jay Smooth. But look who's back, and he is full of picks today, all kinds of different sports. He's also the only man at SportsLine that's on the College World Series for us. AB, what's up, baby?
Coach, good to see you again. Jay Smooth, really good to see you again. I mean, when does this man not look good, right? I mean, it's all the time.
Oh
and you catch him after a vacation, after a little time away.
Right?
Dude.
Because a little sun,
I know.
Ooh, baby.
little rest,
I
still
know.
fix.
Yeah, I'm doing great.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Before we get into that soccer, which is some of the best soccer you've ever seen, ever, a little housekeeping I got to take care of. Now, you know that we are in the business of building our community at SportsLine. So here's what we're going to do today, because you guys absolutely love it when you do this, all right? So the first 100 likes, one of you will win a year-long subscription to SportsLine. Then after we get to 100, let's try to get to 200. We'll give away 2. And then also leave your Twitter handle just randomly, right, over, under, whatever you think the game tonight in the NBA will go. And we will randomly select one of you after the 100 likes. So you have 2 chances to win a year-long subscription, because we don't want to shut you out. And we continue to grow the community. So I will keep my eyes on that as we continue throughout the next hour, which we have a lot of content to get to. All right, guys, so let's jump into the morning show before we look ahead to tonight. And we mentioned the soccer already. I don't know that I've ever seen 2 games, not 1, but 2, that was more exciting than what we saw today. The plays we were on, Croatia, Spain, both teams to score, that was over right before halftime. Then we were on the over, 2.5. That was over like 60 minutes into the game. Then Spain goes up 3-1. It's over, right? It's not over. Then Croatia scores twice late to force overtime. Spain scores 2 more times. They scored 8 combined goals. If that wasn't enough, the game that's currently on right now, France, Switzerland. France, the defending World Cup champions, down 1-0. Penalty kick for Switzerland. Oh, wait a second. They get it blocked. It's a save. France comes down, scores 2 quick in 90 seconds. We're on the team total, over 1.5. So we're happy. We're happy. Apparently, AB's not happy with his computer today. And so then Switzerland, done. They're dead. They're dead. But no. Switzerland scores 2 goals just like Croatia did, currently in extra time, 3-3. Guys, I don't care if you're a soccer guy or not. How much fun was the last 4 hours of soccer? How much fun?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, especially not having anything on today in terms of like baseball and, not having a day game to bet on besides this. My eyes have been glued all afternoon. And I had that France little over 1.5 bet that just cashed so easy. That was great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, especially to have it during the day and, it's on and you've got so many different styles, different plays. It's fantastic.
I love the fact that CBS and SportsLine, they're trying to get every soccer contract in the world. And it's very, very smart, because as you lean into sports betting like we do, and I think we're the leading network that does it, you've got to be able to have stuff all throughout the day. And when you have soccer, which is mostly in other countries, that's what you have. You have 9 o'clock starts, noon starts, sometimes 3 starts. But it's so much fun. And the fact that we're 3-0 on the show, that's even better, because I'm calling this Bounce Back Monday. We did not have a good Sunday, but we had a monster week last week. We preach money management all the time. So as we head into the night, when you're 3-0, do you take that as house money and up your bet a little bit? Or do you say, you know what, I'm going to stick to the process? Jay Smooth, you go first.
Yeah, no, I stick to the process. If you've heard me sort of talk about the way I sort of handle my betting unit, it's very strict. It's usually exactly 1% of whatever my bankroll is. And I don't even really like jump that up every single time. I usually look at like thresholds. So if I have, let's say if I'm playing at 100, I wait to get to 110 before going up. So no, I'm very and Alan loved that so much he just had to leave. But no, yeah, I'm really rigid about it. I think you really need to be. You can have a hot week like we did, and if you start chasing these wins and saying, "Oh, I'm up 50 units in 3 weeks, I'm going to start doubling down and tripling down," it only will take 1 week to get back to zero. So you want to be conservative with your betting units for sure.
Especially when you're doing it 7 days a week like we do. I mean, we do the show 7 days a week. We do probably 10 to 15 different shows during the week in different sports. So you have to be incredibly disciplined. We talk about it all the time. Nothing drives me nuts more than when I get a tweet from somebody that says, "Those 2 games killed me. You can took all my – wait a second. We just went 21-6. How did it kill you? Those are just 2 games, and it happens all the time. Discipline and money management are everything. Okay, so those are our 3 soccer plays from this morning. Now, we've got games that we're going to give out, and while AB tries to figure out his computer, I don't think we're going to have him. So, Jay Smooth, it just might be me and you for the next hour.
Do it, baby.
I'm okay with that. So, give us the 2 plays so people can get it in and beat the number, and then we'll give it out throughout the hour as well. Give me 2 plays that you have for tonight, if you don't mind.
So tonight, I am going with 2 plays in the MLB. I have a nice little bit of information on this St. Louis Cardinals and Arizona Diamondbacks game. So what I'm looking at is how many runs these teams have been allowing, right? So not just how many they've been scoring, but what the defense has been doing. And both of these teams have been struggling with their pitching a little bit more than they've been struggling with their hitting. So they've both been allowing a lot of runs. The Arizona Diamondbacks have allowed runs in 18 of their last 24 games, or 5+ runs in 18 of their last 24 games. So that's a lot of scoring against. And we've been talking about how bad they are. But then on top of that, yeah, the Cardinals have allowed even almost worse. They're at like 6 of their last 8 or so. They just keep allowing more than 5 runs in all of these contests. So I'm really okay with going over here. I like the over. I think you can get it at 8.5, which makes it one of the lowest lines of the night. And I see a really nice weather boost here too. So take the over on this one. I think it's gonna be some fireworks in St. Louis tonight.
I'm looking at my book right now because we always look at several books, even though William Hill, they're an incredible partner, and they are the official line that we go by. But we also look to see how lines are moving elsewhere as well. And as I look at that particular game right now, I do have it at 8.5. So, but I have it -113. So not horrible on the juice, but you are adding a lose element into it. But I love all the different stats that you just gave. So I'm going to make that play just as soon as I possibly can. But you have a second play you're giving out as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. I have a second play, but really quick, this actually opened this game. The St. Louis game opened at 9.5. So it's actually come down. The books thought this was going to be closer to 9.5 this morning, and the market kind of moved against it. And I think the market's wrong and really like that we're getting a better number later in the day. But let's get into that second play. I'm taking another over. I'm going to go to the Dodgers and the Giants. This one actually opened at 8. It's now getting closer to 8.5. It usually at most books, it's just moved there. And that's what I really like about it, because you can get even money right now instead of having to pay the juice at -120 for over 8. And then, we're getting the same win condition. Both those lines win at 9 runs, but now you're getting that even money to play for that same win condition. And here's what's really interesting is that the Giants are the best offense in baseball over the last 2 weeks. They have the highest weighted on-base average out of any team, better than the Padres, better than the Astros in the last 14 days. So this team is raking, and both these pitchers, Anthony DeSclafani and Trevor Bauer, have expected ERAs that are higher than their actual ERAs. And what that's going to mean is that there's some potential regression coming tonight for these pitchers. And I really think that both these offenses can get us past 8 runs, 9 runs, and cash this bet for us.
I love the fact, too, it's a 10-10 late start on the East Coast. Out here where I live, it's 7-10. I love the late games. I absolutely love the late games in baseball as well. As my son's bringing in cold, hard cash. He just brought me in the money I won from the soccer game just now. Thank you, son. Thank you very much. You just did that live on the air. That's right.
There we go.
There you go. You know what? I'm going to make it a little swerve here because we got a lot more to get into. But since we're having some technical issues with a couple of our guys, I normally try to get to as many questions as possible. If you guys want to put a question in the comments section for Justin or myself, we will answer a lot more today than we normally do. So if you have one, let us know. We'll get through all of our plays, and then we'll answer as many as we possibly can. And I have the first one we're going to get to. But AB has these plays tonight. If you haven't played them yet, Mississippi State Vanderbilt over 7.5 in the College World Series. He has been dynamic with his College World Series picks. And tonight, Vanderbilt has an incredible pitcher, Leiter. He's a first-round draft pick for Vandy. So a lot of people think that the under is a lock. But he gave some stats out this morning on the show, Jay Smooth, that basically Mississippi State's the only team this entire season to hit Leiter. He has like a plus 6.20 ERA against Mississippi State. So the under has come all the way down to, or the total has come all the way down to 7.5. So we're on the over 7.5 tonight. Then in hockey, he loves the Canadiens Lightning game 1 over 5 goals. I love that. The Lightning have been a scoring machine in the postseason. So I love the over 5 goals there. And then in kind of a cool prop, because the Lightning are minus 200 to win this game, he came up with something, Jay Smooth, that was pretty cool.
I like this one.
You can bet the Lightning to win in regulation, right? And then both teams to score. And in the 18 postseason games, the Lightning have scored in every game. And the Canadiens, I believe, have scored in 16 of the 18 games. So basically, it's a lock for both teams to score. And then you're able to bring that number from minus 200 down to plus 115. That's a pretty cool deal that not a lot of people know. Am I right?
Yeah, no, I think it's an interesting way to sort of add some value to your bet, right? To go out there and say that these teams have been so prolific in netting some goals. And I'm not even like the biggest hockey guy, right? Like you don't see me putting hockey plays up, but what I can talk to is how you define value on betting lines and looking into certain plays that get overlooked when you parlay them to create correlated expected results, right? So what we're seeing is that in this scenario, that when these two teams play, there's going to be a higher than likely chance that we're going to see scoring on both ends, and that we like the Lightning already. So why not take the extra little bit to boost our payout when we get it right?
Now, it is interesting because a couple people in the comment section pointed out, and I was just getting ready to do this, that because people ask me all the time, they're like, do you guys talk about your picks before you put them up on SportsLine? Here's a perfect scenario to tell you that we do not. So AB is on the over. Then Matt Severance and John Bowman are both on the under in this particular game. And they both have their reasons. They all have their breakdowns, as they all do, because they're professional cappers. And so you've got to take the information that they give at SportsLine and take it for what it's worth, then you make the play. Now, we felt comfortable on the show giving out the over with Allan Bell. But if you feel more comfortable doing the over, I'm going to bet the over. But you can read Bowman, you can read Severance at SportsLine, and maybe you feel more confident with the under. Who knows? Also, one other thing before we get too far away from the soccer, a lot of people can't understand when a game ends after 120 minutes why they lose their bet. All soccer bets, for the most part, are regulation 90-minute bets. So if you go into the 120, whether it's the over, whether it's a side, you're going to lose. It is not going to pay after 90 minutes. So understand that before you make your bet. Okay, the Maestro tonight, he's on the Red Sox minus 140 over the Royals. Quite frankly, even though they're my team, I could not believe that this number was not higher. I got it at 140. I feel like it's going to increase. The Royals have been nothing, no life whatsoever. The Red Sox have been red hot coming off a sweep of the Yankees. Did you think this game should have been a little bit higher than minus 140?
Well, the market sure did. I mean, you're getting it like minus 150 now. So you got to thank the Maestro, because to most like prolific bettors, beating the market like that and getting a better price than what everybody else is going to get at the end of the day is already a win, right? So if you listened to Maestro this morning and you took it at minus 140, the guy who goes to play it right now, who's listening to this show, who didn't take it this morning, is paying an extra 13% of his money to take the same bet. So that's already a win in the eyes of most like professional handicappers. handicappers. So that's a great call from the Maestro already. But I totally agree. This Royals team has dropped the last 5. They looked lifeless. I actually saw them sort of blow that late lead at Yankee Stadium last week. The pitching just has not been great on the road for the Royals. I've been talking about this, for most of the year, and it's actually gotten a little worse. So I don't like the Royals pitching staff. I think the Red Sox have been hot. They just came off a sweep of my lowly Yankees. What a mess. But I really like this play from Maestro, honestly.
All right, you're right now, SportsLine. And if you follow SportsLine, they always update over across where it says current. It says opening and current. That's exactly what William Hill has. So if you wonder what William Hill has, that's what we have at SportsLine every single time. By the way, somebody said, Coach, hockey is 60 minutes, not 90 minutes. We were talking about soccer. All right, so pay attention. Unless I said hockey, then I need to pay attention.
I think you said soccer.
Yeah, there you go. So those are all of our morning plays. By the way, the Gem is still alive. We had Croatia, Spain, over 2.5 goals. The Canadians, Lightning, over 5 goals. And then the Suns money line tonight as well, plus 498 in the 400s, which is pretty good for the Jewelers Gem. All right, so let's switch gears now. By the way, we are getting very, very close. Get to those 100 likes, and I will give away a year-long subscription to SportsLine. Also, if you haven't done it already, my guy John collects all of the Twitter handles. So leave your Twitter handle, write the word over, under. Let us know that you're listening to what we're telling you, and we'll give away a separate year-long subscription as well later in the show. But we're very, very, very close to getting that first one to give away. I've been waiting all day to talk about this basketball game, Jay Smooth, and I know you have too. Let's just jump right in.
Yeah.
Because tonight the Suns have a chance to return to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1993. And do you remember who the star for the Suns was in 1993?
That was the year I was born, so no, I don't remember.
Damn!
Oh.
Wow. As young as I look, you're now making me feel old, Jay Smooth. All right.
You're not that old, Coach.
The Sun star in 1993 was none other than Sir Charles Barkley. And
that would be my guess, though. I know who it was, but I just had to throw out there that that's my birth year.
So what's crazy is that's as close as he ever came to an NBA championship. So they've been to the NBA Finals in 1976, 1993. The odds to win the series right now, the Clippers plus 1,300, no value there. Suns minus 3,000, no value there. But tonight's game, AB's on it. We have a couple other people on it. Bowman's on it. Severance is on the money line, which is minus 245. That's a little steep. But when you look at this line, minus 5.5, the total's at 215. By the way, Jay Smooth, the total has come down in every single game. 234 combined, game 1, 207, game 2, 198, game 3, 164 in game 4, which was the lowest scoring game in the NBA, regular season or playoffs all year. What play do you like tonight? Do you like the points, money line, total? What do you like?
Oh man, I like that under. I really do. And this is something that at this point it's almost hard to take it because I think it's down to 212.5 now. It was at 214.5 this morning at 9 a.m. It is just plummeting. And I think I saw an interesting write-up from one of our our serious scientists, our SDQL guys. They were talking a little bit about some of their stuff is great when you get that really nice good deep amount of sample space, right? And you need to have a good sample size to really start to trust their stuff. But the under has been so prominent in these later rounds of the playoffs. Defenses get locked in. You learn how to shut down your opponent's team. You see them go after the crux of a team's offense and really try to limit the way that there's going to be any scoring tonight. And I think that the Suns are going to need to do that again. And they seem to know who to target. You got to watch Paul George. You got to watch Reggie Jackson. And then after that, they're going to play a slow, methodical game. Chris Paul is going to keep everything organized. And I think that there's a really good chance for this one to stay under 200 again, just like we've seen in some of these games.
But let me play devil's advocate just for a second. I want people to really think, because one of the in-game interviews with the head coach of Phoenix, and his name is behind me now, Johnny, tell me who the head coach of Phoenix is, please. I can't remember, but you can tell me as I'm talking. And he did his interview.
That's Monty Williams.
Thank you, Monty Williams. Good Lord, Monty Williams, Coach of the Year. Amazing job, Monty Williams. So he basically said we have to play faster so that Devin Booker can have more open shots and not have to play against that defense as much as he has been doing in the half-court offense. Now, he said that, and I was like, oh, maybe I should bet the over live. So, of course, like an idiot, I did, but very, very small. And nothing changed because Chris Paul, I think, only knows how to play one way, and that's control the basketball, run the shot clock down to 7 or 8 seconds, and then get into a play. And that's how they play, which is why the total has dropped. He missed the first 2 games. So what does that tell you, Jay Smooth? That the 2 lowest totals are when Chris Paul came back to the offense. So even though Monty Williams says we want to play faster, and a lot of people will read into that and say, okay, I'm going to bet the over. I think it should just be the opposite. I think because of how much pressure there is to win, that they could have more problems shooting the basketball. The fourth quarter, a combined 29 points between the two teams in the fourth quarter. I could see something like that happening again. So maybe a high-scoring first 3, and then the defense locks down. So I think I'm with you. Even at 212, I think I still might play the under a little bit. I can't play the over. I just can't.
No. You can't. And it's tough. I mean, when you get into these situations, you start to feel like, oh, there's no way I would do something. And that's exactly when it's going to happen. But you got to trust the numbers in these scenarios. You got to take a look at the way this pace changes when Chris Paul is on the floor, the way that he organizes the game, the way that he sets up the court in order to run his pick and rolls, in order to set certain screens and get his guys open down low to get good quality shots. That does not happen in 12 seconds off of the shot clock. That takes, a slow walk up. You're probably crossing the line. There's 8 to 10 seconds gone already before they even start organizing. And they're really getting to their shot with, again, 10 to 12 seconds left on the shot clock. So on the other side, though, you got to look at how the Clippers are reacting to a pretty staunch Suns defense that has done a good job limiting them and limiting them from getting that pace to go a little faster where they might have a better opportunity to force some bad Suns shots. But yeah, I agree with you. That fourth quarter might be a really defensive effort again tonight. I don't hate some live unders if this thing starts getting a little fast paced early.
Yeah, live betting is really cool. Follow Jay Smooth, follow Mikey. These guys are all great at live betting. And if you're not familiar with live betting and you're brand new to it, send us a question. Let us know. We'll be glad to help you. We try to answer as many questions as we possibly can. We're getting very, very close to 100 likes. Let's go. But another reason why it's going to slow down, and my college coach used to do this a lot to protect my minutes, because I routinely in college played 40 minutes a game. He would slow the pace down intentionally because he knew I needed to play the entire game. And Paul George and Reggie Jackson have been playing just monster minutes, absolute monster minutes. They can't afford to come out of the game even for 3 or 4 minutes because Kawhi Leonard's not in there. They don't have a lot of other guys to shoulder the scoring load. So for that reason, they slow it down a lot to give them a breather while they are on the court. And that is something that is not factored in when you're handicapping a game, and something we really need to think about tonight. And I think that I'm talking us into the under. I think the under is the play.
I'll be on it. I'll probably be on it personally. I'm not sure. I haven't really been doing a lot of NBA handicapping for SportsLine. It's something I'm intending to do starting next season. Again, I was really just getting my start on the site when this was all going. So I really sort of focused my energy on baseball, but I obviously love the NBA. I've done NBA, fantasy my whole life. So yeah, I'll be playing the under personally, not for like a full baseball unit, more for like that entertainment play, like a third of a unit, quarter of a unit, something a little bit lighter. That way, when I lose, it isn't something like huge like my baseball plays, which I put in, hours upon hours upon hours. I mean, this is really just for me a play that makes a lot of sense. The numbers have been showing it. The unders have been prominent in all NBA playoffs. I actually think there was a tweet I sent out when the playoffs started about how I would be blind betting unders for a small unit the entire way through. And I've just been, riding some nice profit on that. So
nice. Very, very nice. We are approaching the bottom of the hour. If you're just joining us, this is Early Edge Live, our afternoon show. We're here every morning and every weekday afternoon as we break down the entire world of sports betting. So hopefully you enjoy it. Wes loves the show. We have an entire crew. Normally we have 4 guys on the show, but today we're having some technical issues. So me and Jay Smooth get to dominate for the entire hour. Send those questions over there. We're going to get to them in just a couple of minutes. But first, I want to dive in quickly because we have been all over player props for this game. And when you have a money line, Jay Smooth, that is minus 245, there's a lot of people that may not feel comfortable even betting a side at minus 5.5 or minus 245. So let me throw out some player props to you, and you just give me your gut. These are not plays that we're officially giving out. We're just discussing. And here are the point totals for the Suns starting lineup to start. Now, Ayton, I cannot believe that it has not gone up to 17 or 18. Why hasn't it? He's gone over this total every single game.
You're baffling me too, man. I think it's just that at some point he's going to have a game where maybe he fades a little bit, where they go maybe a little bit more towards Bridges, where Booker takes a couple more shots. I mean, if it's hard. I mean, I lean over too, but like when I start feeling like it's a lock and the number kind of disagrees with it being a lock in the sense that it hasn't moved to 18.5, that it hasn't even gone to 17.5. I mean, it feels like it should. So you start to be like, do the books know something? Are they, seeing something that we don't? But if he keeps hitting it, You got to go back to the well a little bit. But I'm more interested in Mikal Bridges, to tell you the truth. I mean, he's been scoring, man. I mean, he had 14 and 13 and 2 of the games this series. I think that, if he's going to be a part of this game and scoring like he should be, that he will hit this. It's not really going to be like is Mikal Bridges going to be close? You're not going to have a sweat with him, is my thinking. Right. You're either really going to hit this or he's going to score 5. So I actually like Bridges to come back and score again tonight. Again, he only really had 6 points in game 5 or game 4, sorry. But again, only took 6 shots. I think he probably takes more than that tonight. He hadn't taken less than 7 in any game since round 1. So I really do think Bridges goes over 11.5 tonight. That's probably where I'd go. But Ayton is a good one too. I think I like both of them, especially if he thinks the Suns are going to win.
Rarely do you have a number that the market is so stubborn in moving. Yeah. You never see this because we've been playing Ayton the entire season, not just in the playoffs. We've been cashing this ticket every single time. Now, the double-double, the points and rebounds has also been kind of a nice play for Ayton as well. Sterling in the comments says Ayton drops almost 20 and Booker drops almost 30 tonight, he thinks. I think Booker, though, comes in on the under because he has not, other than the first game when he went to 40, but they've kind of figured it out, and the defense is clamped down. So betting anybody over 28 or 29, to me, the only guy you can do it, and Johnny, let's switch over to the Clippers starting lineup. The only guy that I think you can really do it is Paul George, because I think everybody else is in. I think Booker's going to be in that 20 to 25. I think Chris Paul's going to be 10 to 15, because right now I'm looking at 90 to 100 points for the Suns to win this game. They come off 84. So I'm talking 90 to 100 points. So if you got 20 for Ayton, 25 for Booker, now those numbers make sense to me. So right now the over-under, and George is at 29.5. I would bet that over tonight because on an elimination game, the stars have to take the shots. Even if he goes 10 for 30, he's got to take the shots tonight. So he could stumble his way to an over 30. Man, I love that 11.5. He has shown that if he gets going, 11.5 is nothing for him. I would bet him on the over tonight as well. And then Jackson has been pretty nice. That number has stayed current throughout the entire series, around 19.5 or 20 points. We've cashed on him as well. Your thoughts on any of these numbers?
Sure. Yeah, no, my only thing is I would definitely try to maybe choose 1 or maybe 2 that you like, especially if we're sitting here talking about how we both like the under in the game, right? We talk about correlated plays a lot. I wouldn't go out there and say, oh man, I'm going to bet overs on all these guys and then maybe take an under on the total. Right. If anything, choose a spot, choose one of these guys that makes the most sense, that really you think is going to be taking the most shots, because at the end of the day, what's going to really determine their scoring output is how many times they shoot the ball. Like we talk about points, but points are really a factor of, well-defended shots and all this stuff. But what it really comes down to is how many times they're shooting. And if you really think that somebody's going to be putting up a lot of shots and has shown to be shooting decently, then yeah, it's going to make sense. Reggie Jackson took 24 shots in the last game, the most that he has taken in any game of the playoffs. So yeah, I really think Reggie Jackson has a chance. And like you said, he hasn't gone under 19 points in the last 6 games, 22, 27, 24, 19, 23, 20. So, I think Reggie Jackson is probably where I'd go if I had to pick a Clipper to go over, because he's going to hoist those shots from deep. If he hits 2 or 3, then you're already, looking at only 5 buckets and maybe a couple free throws to cash this thing and to get him to 20. And he's shown that he's the secondary scorer on this team. So yeah, I'd probably go with Jackson if I was going to take an over from the Clippers. But George getting 30, I feel like is going to be correlated to that score getting close to that total of 214, 212. And again, I think it could be a defensive one. So I'd probably go with Jackson, if anything, because again, if they're hoisting shots to try to get back in the game, he's probably that guy who's going to have the chance because they'll double George.
That's right. And he has the ball a lot. You bring up great points right there. So for those of you watching at home, really listen to what Jay Smooth just told you. And it's been an issue that I've had in the past, but luckily I'm around really, really smart people now, is that everything is he uses the word correlated. What that means is a bet that goes with another bet. And if you have an under bet, say under 212, but we bet 6 overs, well, now those things don't go together because you're rooting for all these points, but then you're rooting for a perfect scenario where it comes in at 208 or 209. And that's, A, it's not fun to do, and B, it's not smart to do. So really listen to the information that Jay Smooth just gave you. A lot of good comments coming in over here at YouTube. We're getting very, very close. And we had 100 likes yet. So I'm not kidding. We're going to give away, but we got to get those likes. I'm not just going to give it away to give it away. But so many of you have given us your Twitter handle. And over under, we will give away another one of those in about 20 minutes as we are over halfway. This hour goes so fast. It goes so fast. Man. It's incredible how fast that it goes. All right, so those are the point props for tonight's Suns Clippers game, and hopefully you can take that information and take it straight to the pay window. Let's recap quickly the plays you gave at the top of the show. A lot of people are just tuning in right now across the bottom of the hour. Very quickly, re-give those 2 plays you gave here live on the show.
Yeah, sure. So real quickly, I'm going with the over in 2 games. I like the Cardinals and the Diamondbacks, and I like the Dodgers and the Giants. I talked about it very briefly earlier. Well, I guess in more depth, but the Giants are one of the hottest teams in baseball right now. Both starters in this game have ERAs that are lower than their expected ERAs, which means that if things were to go on the average, like if every batted ball event that they pitched went to average instead of what actually happened, their ERAs would be worse. They would have allowed more runs, which kind of means they're getting a little lucky, right? Good defense, screaming line drives hit right to the glove, home runs on the warning track. They got blown in by some wind. These types of things lower your ERA, but our expected analytics are able to say, well, it should have been higher. So both pitchers in that game have higher expected ERAs than they do real ERAs. And then both games actually have great hitting conditions. We talk about weather, we talk about air density, we talk about wind blowing out. Both of these games have great weather conditions for hitting tonight.
All right, we do have a winner, and I apologize because he said it 10 minutes ago. I'm yelling at you all, and you all did it 10 minutes ago. My apologies. I'm so into the show, I forgot to look at my phone. All right, here is our first winner of the year-long sub to SportsLine. You get access to all the simulations, all the cappers, all the analysis, depending on where you're from, at Okamoto_Sean. I wonder if that's the brother of Brett Okamoto, my good friend from ESPN. Who knows? The face of MMA at ESPN. So at Okamoto_Sean, my guy Johnny will reach out to you on social media and we'll let you know all the details on how you can cash that in for free. By the way, quick update. This amazing game between France and Switzerland is now in penalty kicks. No goals in the extra 30 minutes, and they're now in penalty kicks as we watch it live here on the show. And this is the beauty of this, of Early Edge Live from 5 to 6. You got sweats like this. If you Well, right now, most of your bets are over. Let's be honest, because soccer bets are in the first 90 minutes. And the goalie is doing his classic stall tactic, play with both socks. And now Switzerland is up for a kick. There's no graphics on my screen. What is the producer doing? I can't give a live update here on the show if there's no graphics on the screen. All right. Well, this is a live show. That's what we're doing. So right now it's 3-3. They're in penalty kicks. And I will let you know as soon as he kicks the ball. What in the world are they waiting for? All right. So he did score. So that one is good. Let's see where they're at, where they stand. Well, this is a horrible job of producing by ESPN, by the way. I mean, there's absolutely no graphics on the screen right now. And
I hate when that happens.
I hate when that happens. I mean, don't they know that people are doing live podcasts and that we need to know exactly? All right, so that was the first one. That was just the first one. No wonder. All right, so one for Switzerland, and now France is getting ready to take their first ones. So AB just texted me, right? So we're completely transparent across the board. And he says, and I quote, "I don't care about being on this show, and so I'm not doing it today. You guys have fun." What? I thought he loved this. I thought he loved it. I don't know. I don't know.
Alan.
I know. AB, I mean, I'm just reading what he writes. So or he may have written apologies. I'm trying like crazy to get back on the show. It could have been one of the two.
It's one of the
Semantics. All right, quickly, somebody in the comment section. Hey, Coach, what do you think about Chris Paul over 1.5 threes tonight? And I went back and looked. Let's look at the box score from the last game quickly, because I don't know if I like that or not. So Chris Paul 0 of 3 in the last game, so that's not good. The game before, he was 2 of 7. So not a huge sample size since he came back from the COVID list. I just don't like any plays that involve Chris Paul and three-point shooting because it's not his game. He loves that little drive to the free throw line, fade away, and shoot from 15 to 17 feet. I would not play. I don't even care what the odds are. I would not play a CP3 3-point bet. What about you, Jay Smith?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm going to take a page out of Mikey's book here, and we're going to look at the attempts, and we're going to talk about the percentages, right? So, if he's only shooting 3 or 2 times from behind the arc, which again, aside from game 3 in his return where he shot 7 times, as we said, he shot in this series, he missed the first 2 games, but in the last series against Denver, he shot 3-2, 3-0, and then he shot 7 and 3. So again, you need him to maybe make 66% of those 3 to get to 2. We've talked a little bit about his shoulder problems. You said it really well yourself. He usually looks for that mid-range dribble drive, either pull up for an easy jumper or distribute for an even easier shot attempt, or maybe a high value 3-point shot from the corner. So, he really makes smart decisions. And I think he knows that his other shooters have a better chance at hitting threes than he does. He's not the tallest guy. He can't really shoot over people. He's not going to get open that easily for that type of shot because of the attention he gets when he's handling the ball. So yeah, I'd probably back off of it. I think it's probably pretty much a coin toss. And I don't like betting on coin tosses too much, especially when you have to pay the rake.
I do not either. And Sterling Gentry said the same thing. It's a no-go as well. Keep those likes coming. We're trying to get to 200. Also, leave your Twitter handle and just write the word over or under, whatever you think the NBA game is going to go tonight. If we get to 200, I'll give away another year-long sub. And then we're also going to give away a separate, another one for sure, here in about 16 minutes or so. By the way, I wanted to ask this live on the show because many people don't realize this. I love giving away stuff. And I really like to reward Jay Smooth, people that hang with us, that roll with us, that are part of the community. I want you guys to tell me in the comment section because I'm one of the voices in the iconic video game Madden. Most people don't know that, okay? So I get, in my contract, I get a few copies of the game. I won't tell you how many. I get a few. So if you guys tell me, if there's enough gamers out there that watch the show, then when I get my copies in early August, before you can even buy them, I'm going to give away a few right here on the show. If that's something that you all would like. So write in the Twitter, instead of writing over under now, just give us your Twitter handle and write yes or no if you would like a free or an opportunity for a free Madden 22 with Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, and your boy, the first voice in the game, right when you put it in. And here, welcome to Madden, everybody. It's your boy. That's me. So,
can I go right in the comments? Do I get a chance at getting this? Like, I mean, I love Madden, man. I can't wait.
Really?
We should get a tournament going.
Okay. Well, you know a guy. So I have a feeling you might be able to get one. I have a feeling you might be able to do it. So you know a guy. You might be talking to him. All right. Oh, we're getting the call. Yes. Yeses are coming.
I think I know how people are going to vote on that one.
All right. And I tell you what, I'll even autograph it for you. I will even autograph it if you guys win. We'll give it away. We'll do a giveaway in August. Maybe we'll do 4 or 5, and then we'll go from there. So I love doing cool stuff like that because as cool as it is for me to be in the game, it's even cooler to share it with other people because I love sharing stuff. It's cool to be who we are, but if we don't share with other people, then what's the point? So we're going to do that. I don't need to see anymore, but keep writing yes or no. But I can tell already you guys all want Madden 22 too. Awesome.
Who doesn't?
All right, we've got 11 games on the Major League slate tonight, and it's taken us 53 minutes to get to Major League Baseball. That's how much there is to get here tonight. There is a game that has already started, and that's the Pirates and the Rockies. And let's take a quick look at that score as my phone's
Pirates struck out for the first 4 outs, which is kind of funny. So hopefully you didn't take the Friedland under 3.5 strikeouts today because they struck out on all 4 of their first at-bats.
That is horrible. The over-under, just because it's Coors Field, and I don't know the last time I saw an under 11 on any sheet that involves the Rockies at home. And again, it was on 11 today. Many people that I saw across the nation were on the under. You just can't bet on the Pirates to be a part of an over almost ever. So we'll keep an eye on this. We don't have a play on it, 0-0, but we'll keep an eye on it. Also, Phillies, Reds at 6:40 Eastern time as well. And then the rest of the games are 7, 8, and then the late game that you're on, the Giants and Dodgers at 10-10. But let's go through them really quickly and just kind of give me your gut. We've already given out the official plays from the show, but there's a lot of people that bet on every single game. So we'll just give our quick takes as we go through. Phillies, Reds, simulations on SportsLine. Reds win 4.8 to 4.3. They're minus 145. The total started at 9.5. It opened at 9.5. It's still at 9.5. The Reds at home are a different team than they are on the road. Also, the over is also, if you blindly bet the over at home for the Reds, more times than not, it's coming in. Any feeling on this game tonight at all from you?
Yeah, I honestly see the Phillies as the side with value. I'm having a tough time with these Reds. I mean, maybe it's a little bit of recency bias. Again, this is not a play for me. This is just sort of how I'm reading the numbers. But the Phillies offense has just been a little bit better than the Reds offense. The Reds sort of have not been around. They've dropped 7 of their last 10 games. As Coach said, this is a really nice hitting environment. 21-14 is the over record at the Great American Ballpark. But 4 of the last 4 games have all gone under. And I really think that has a little bit to do with this Reds batting slump. I'm not really going to make a play, but if I had to, I would probably lean Philly. I don't hate them on the run line if you want to get a little bit more of a safer bet. But, you know, they're around plus 135, plus 140 today. You know, they still have Bryce Harper. They still have a couple guys, Josh Bell. Like they're not scrubs, and they have some good looking numbers in terms of adjusting to this ballpark tonight. So it wouldn't shock me to see an underdog win there.
Okay, very good. JB, thank you very much. Letting us know, since my TV is to my right, France is out. An incredible stop by the Swiss goalie in the penalty kick. And they are absolutely going bananas. So your defending World Cup champions, they are out. They are done in an amazing game that went 3-3 through regulation into extra time and then to penalty kicks. This Euro 2020, I am here for it. I love it. I love watching it. I love betting on it. And we, of course, cashed that ticket team total over 1.5 France we had today.
Nice one.
Part of our 3-0 start. Part of our 3-0 start here at
I just want to quickly say.
Yeah.
I want to quickly say about this game. So you were talking a little bit before about 90-minute bets in soccer and what happens when, you take this team to win and they win at the end. and why don't you get your winnings? Well, you should be happy you didn't take France, including the whole game, because I saw a line where they were minus 580 to advance through the whole thing. So there were people who were taking them to advance at a line like that who just had their money taken out of their pockets. So I saw big soccer lines scare the heck out of me, man.
Anything can happen in a big soccer line. It's like MMA. Soccer betting is very much like MMA. You have to be very, very careful. That's why prop betting is always so important in both sports, I believe. By the way, somebody in the comment section just said, I forgot about this. The Maestro is on Wade Miley over 4.5 Ks in that Phillies-Reds game that we were just discussing, minus 116. So he's on that play. So get on that as that game starts at 6:40 Eastern time instead of 7:10. So thank you very much for that reminder. By the way, we do have a winner in our totals in the people that just left their Twitter handle and the over-under or the yes-no. Here it is. Drum roll, please. You got to imagine it. All right, at XR Garza 361. At XR Garza 361. My guy Johnny will reach out to you and let you know how you can cash in your year-long sub. Welcome to the family. We want everybody to be a part of SportsLine. If you haven't won yet and you're like wondering what the buzz is all about, use that promo code EDGE. We're going to give you the first 30 days for free. You can experience everything, all the cappers, all the analysis, all the picks. We simulate every single game 10,000 times and then give you that result. That's why SportsLine is so valuable, so incredibly valuable. All right, we've only got about 10 minutes left. It's amazing how fast this game goes and how fast the show goes. And thank you all so much for hanging with us. So many of you stayed for the entire hour, which I just think is incredible. So thank you so much for that. Will Play just came in. I know a lot of people come in late. Are you betting on the Stanley Cup Finals? So quickly, yes, you obviously came in a little bit late. Our guy Allan Bell, he's on the Game 1 over tonight, which is 5. He also has a pretty cool prop bet that is Lightning to win in regulation and both teams to score. And that will bring it down from minus 200 to plus 115 or plus 125. So that's Will Plays. That's what we're playing on tonight on the Stanley Cup Final. All right, let's get back into baseball quickly. So I said 11 games. We've been through 2. Mets, Nats. We don't have a lot of information on this game. The simulations have the Mets 4.3, the Nats 3.8. I just hate betting on the Mets. I hate betting on the Mets. Their offense stinks, and you don't know what they're going to do. They rely way too much on their really good pitching. If I was one of their pitchers, Jay Smooth, I would be ticked that I played for the New York Mets because the bats are so freaking bad. Yeah. I would steer clear of this game no matter what. If it's me, but you're the expert. What do you think about
let's talk a little bit about just how bad these Mets have been. I mean, like you're saying, that doesn't scare me off of betting the Mets. It just makes me want to fade the Mets, right? So the New York Mets over the last 2 weeks are the 4th worst team in weighted on base average, third worst. Sorry. The only 2 teams that have been worse than them are the Cubs and the Cardinals. But that is, again, this team just does not hit that well. Their batting average over the last 14 days is under 200. I mean, this is just gross. So look, I don't hate maybe a team total under. I don't hate, fading them maybe on a first 5 run line because they don't usually come around till later when they get like a bad reliever. And this Washington team can have trouble with its relieving core. Just taking a look at their bullpen activity the last couple nights, actually the Washington bullpen might be in a little bit of a sticky situation. Hand, Rainey, and Voth all pitched yesterday. So the Mets could score late. So, maybe fading the Mets early, taking a Washington Nationals first 5 run line might be a way to play against the Mets tonight. Again, not on my radar, but a way to look at this game is, how they score, how little they score, and when they score.
You just hit on something that I think has been a hole for us here at the show, that I'm always trying to fill those holes that we have. And as we try to create what I believe will be the number 1 betting show in the world within the next year or 2. And one of those is a team total. And we did give out a team total on the show today, the Astros over 5.5 runs. The reason we did that is because, A, the Tigers just beat them 3 times in a row. And the Astros had been raking. I think they're going to be ticked off tonight.
Coach, I think you actually made a small error this morning. They were about to lose 3 in a row, but the Astros came back in the second game of that doubleheader. So they've lost 2 of the last 3 to the Tigers. So it was almost 3 in a row. It was almost.
You're right. It felt like 3 because we had the run line in that game. That's why in my head we lost.
I lost that bet. Yeah.
You're right. That's what it was. So to me, I don't care if they lose the game. I care if they lose.
No. They haven't covered. They have not covered in like 3 games. You're right. Yes.
So I think they're going to be ticked off tonight. The simulations have them at over 6 runs. So I love that. And they're playing the Orioles and they're playing at home, which does take away an at bat. But I think they're going to be so angry that they're just going to be raking tonight. So team totals, when you look at those, when you're handicapping a game, how often, and maybe you do it every single game, do you look at the team totals as well?
I do actually check them out a good amount. I mean, I actually was going to potentially give out the Arizona Diamondbacks on the team total today instead of taking the full game over. And that is a pretty strong lean for me because they're still at 3.5. And those numbers I talked about of how many runs the Cardinals have been giving up. And they've gone over 5 runs. They've allowed over 5 runs in 6 of the last 8 full games they've played. So, I do like team totals. They're a little tricky. Again, we have a little trouble sometimes finding them on our sponsor. William Hill doesn't always offer them. Sometimes they put them up a little later in the day, which can be tough for us because we'd like to get to those lines early and beat the market and beat the book. But no, I'm always thinking about team totals. I mean, we'll definitely start putting them out there a little bit more. I think I could definitely find some places to take them. I do really like the Astros tonight. If you watched, they just played the Orioles last week. They were scoring 10, 11 runs a night, man. And I don't think anything changes tonight. I think they have a little bit to prove. They scored 25 runs in 2 games against the Orioles to end the last series. That I really like that team total tonight, man.
And for those people who are brand new to sports betting, it's a great way when you do a team total. If you don't like the over for the whole game, between both teams, but yet one team is raking, it's a great way to bet something on the game, especially if the game's like minus 200 or north of that. Team total is a great way to go. We've only got about 4 minutes left in the show. I quickly want to hit on your Yankees because we gave out this game earlier today as well. We gave it over 10. It quickly, boom, like that, went to 10.5. Angels, Yankees, and it stayed consistent at 10.5. Your team, the Yankees, coming off an embarrassing sweep at Fenway. And they've got to be – and they've got so many players that are too cool for school. You never know that Judge or Stanton or any of these guys are pressing, but they better start pressing because they're not playing good baseball, at least against the Red Sox. So tonight, Sims have the Angels 5.6, the Yankees 5.1. That total is 10.5. I liked it a lot more at 10 than I do at 10.5. But I like 10.5 better than I do 11. But full disclosure, I didn't play 10.5 because to me there's such a huge difference between 10 and 10.5. What do you like in this game?
Yeah, I saw 10 this morning on the early show, and I said that looked good, and I tailed it. Happy to get it before the market moves. Again, you always feel accomplished. This is something that I think a lot of newer bettors maybe don't understand as well, and so I always try to hammer it home. When you get a bet at 10, and then you see it closing at 10.5, you've basically won in terms of selecting your bet. And a lot of times you'll see someone who's very experienced betting, like let's, give our favorite example, our guy Mike. He'll tell you that he's basically already won the bet in his eyes when he beats the market by that significant of an amount, because it just means in the long run, he's going to be making more money and losing less money than someone who didn't. But anyway, I love this over. Dylan Bundy has been awful. I think his ERA is 6.68 right now. He's 1-7. He used to play for the Orioles. The Yankees know him very well from his past in the division. And then on the Yankee side, Michael King really hasn't been all that. His expected slugging is 430. He's walking batters 10% of the time. He's just going to be allowing a lot of base runners. And the weather tonight in New York, where I live, I'm only like a 20-minute drive from the stadium. It is hot. It is humid. It is muggy. It is a great night for that baseball to travel. And like you said, the Yankees, who are 0-6 against the Red Sox now this year, really need to make up some ground. They need to make a statement. They need to put some hope back in their fans. And hopefully tonight they score like 8 runs and they make us all feel a little better.
I tell you what, these are the nights. I lived in Stamford, Connecticut for, my entire WWE career, which was 99 to 08. And I also worked at MSG, and some of my favorite nights are nights like tonight. I had a beautiful way too expensive Mercedes convertible that I never should have bought.
Ooh.
But it was nice when I'd get done with a New York Liberty WNBA game. I did the play-by-play. And I would drive down West Side, cut over, drive by Yankee Stadium right there, going up the not Taconic, but is whatever the one is going by the stadium right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And I'd be like, man, this is such a great drive, and this is such a great part of the city and the Bronx. And I used to love those drives late at night just by myself, just recapping how cool my job was that I just did at Madison Square Garden, and also thinking how cool it would be to play for the New York Yankees. How cool it would be to play for the New York Yankees. And I still believe that. I still believe that you play for the Yankees, that's one of the coolest things in the world to do. It just is.
Yeah.
It just is.
But really quick, though, Coach. So the Yankees, I mean, even though they've been looking bad, their weighted on base average in the last 2 weeks is still in the top 6 of the league. So, you know, they haven't like been winning, but those bats have like been there. They've been making good contact. The Giancarlo Stanton is raking. Aaron Judge had like 2 home runs in that series, but the pitching has just been so subpar. So yeah, I think the over is how you take this. I mean, I won on the Angels and the dog of the day last night. I really, really could see them doing it again. Ohtani is just that nasty. He could, you know, drive it another 3 RBIs and seal the deal for them. But yeah, I'm on that over 10 with the morning show. I'm always with the morning show. You guys win me a lot of money, even when they aren't my bets. So
I love it. Even if I get distracted on a story, you bring me right back to the Yankees on base percentage. I can't believe the hour's over. I cannot believe the hour's over. That's all the time we have. Quickly, Johnny, I know you have a full screen, the plays we gave out, official plays here on the show. Look a little something like this. Jay Smooth gave out 2. Diamondback Cardinals over 8.5. Giants Dodgers over 8.5. And then Allan Bell, who showed up for 2 minutes. We're not paying him.
We still love you, Allan.
We're not paying him today. He's on the Suns, 5.5. Bowman's also on the Suns. And Matt Severance is willing to lay that juice, believing that the Suns are a lock to win tonight. But if you're willing to lay 245, then you got more guts than I do. I think I'm going to play the spread, and I'm going to just hope. I'm just going to hope that the Clippers lay down tonight. I can't lay 245. I can't do it. I can't do it.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, and don't forget, our gem is still alive. If you guys played it today, then you're riding with us. Croatia, Spain already hit over 2.5 goals. Canadians, Lightning over 5 goals, and the Suns on the money line, plus 498. That is still alive as well.
Let's get it.
Somebody in the comments section said, Coach, I've got to hear in the afternoon you've got your marching orders. You know what? Since you asked for it, I'm going to give it to you. Early and live. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. There you go. It works in the morning. It works in the afternoon. We're here every single afternoon during the weekday. And then mark your calendars. When football season starts, we'll be here 7 days a week. We've got you.
Wait for the NFL. Let's go.
Got you. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with us for this entire hour. Congratulations to our 2 winners of a year-long sub to SportsLine. Welcome to the family. And as many of you know, you'll have many, many more chances to win yourself. I've got to get my plays in for Jay Smooth, for our incredible producer, Johnny, who puts it all together. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm the coach. We'll see you tomorrow morning right here. Talk about all of these winning tickets on The Early Edge. Good luck. Do you want best bets in your feed every single day? All you have to do is hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Early Edge.